Breezy Johnson's Olympic gold in the women's downhill didn't arrive out of nowhere. It was the culmination of a long, demanding journey shaped by persistence, patience, and a deep understanding of one of the most dangerous disciplines in all of sports. To appreciate what this victory means, you have to understand who Breezy Johnson is and what downhill skiing demands from the people who choose it. Breezy Johnson was born in Wyoming, a place where mountains, weather, and distance are part of everyday life. She grew up around snow and speed, but alpine skiing is not a casual sport, especially downhill. From an early age, Johnson gravitated towards speed events, the part of ski racing that requires athletes to trust their instincts at velocities that feel unnatural. Downhill skiing is different from slalom or giant slalom. It's not about quick turns or rapid rhythm. It's about line choice, aerodynamics, and the willingness to commit when everything in your body is telling you to back off. Breezy Johnson chose that path early, and once you choose downhill, you accept a career that will test your body and your confidence over and over again. Her rise through the U.S. ski team system was steady rather than explosive. She wasn't immediately crowned a prodigy. Instead, she built her reputation as a technician of speed, someone who studied courses carefully, learned from mistakes, and improved incrementally. That kind of development is common among downhill specialists because experience matters as much as raw talent. Johnson made her World Cup debut in her early 20s and quickly showed she belonged at the highest level. She wasn't reckless, she wasn't flashy. What stood out was her composure. Even on the most intimidating courses, she skied with balance and intention, traits that separate consistent downhill racers from those who burn out quickly. But like almost every downhill skier, her career was interrupted by setbacks. Injuries are part of the discipline. High speeds mean high consequences, and even minor mistakes can result in long recoveries. Johnson dealt with injuries that forced her off the circuit and tested her resolve. For a downhill skier, time away from racing isn't just physical, it's mental. Confidence is fragile at 80 miles per hour, and regaining trust in your body and instincts takes time. She also endured seasons where results didn't match effort. Downhill margins are brutal. Hundredths of a second decide podiums. Weather changes can erase advantages. A gust of wind or a patch of ice can undo weeks of preparation. Johnson had races where she skied well but finished just off the podium, reminders of how unforgiving the discipline can be. Through all of it, she stayed committed to the process. Her coaches often spoke about her work ethic and attention to detail. Downhill racers spend countless hours studying video, memorizing terrain, and rehearsing lines mentally. Johnson became known for her preparation. She didn't chase heroics, she chased execution. That approach began to pay off on the World Cup circuit. Johnson earned podium finishes, proving she could compete with the very best in the world. Still, an Olympic gold medal in downhill remained one of the hardest achievements in the sport. The Olympic downhill is unique. Unlike many events, it's often run only once during the Games. There are no second chances, no cumulative scores. One run decides everything. Athletes must manage pressure, unfamiliar courses, and conditions that can change by the minute. When Breezy Johnson arrived at the Olympics, she did so with experience, scars, and perspective. She knew what downhill takes from you, and she knew how rare a perfect alignment of conditions, confidence, and execution really is. On race day, everything came together. Johnson attacked the course with controlled aggression. She carried speed where it mattered, absorbed terrain smoothly, and stayed composed through the most technical sections. There was no visible hesitation, but there was no recklessness either. Her skiing reflected maturity, the kind that only comes from years of learning when to push and when to let the skis run. When she crossed the finish line, the time told the story. She was fastest. In downhill, there is no debate, no judging panel, no interpretation. The clock is absolute. That's what makes a downhill Olympic gold so respected across skiing. It crowns the fastest skier on the mountain under the highest pressure. For Johnson, standing atop the podium represented far more than a medal. It validated years of persistence in a discipline that offers no guarantees. It rewarded patience in a sport that often punishes it. And it placed her among a small group of athletes who have mastered one of the most dangerous events in the Winter Olympics. Her victory also carries significance for American alpine skiing. The United States has a proud history in speed events, but Olympic downhill golds are rare and fiercely contested. Johnson's win adds her name to that lineage and serves as inspiration for younger racers choosing the hard path of downhill. Breezy Johnson's story is not one of overnight success. It's a story of commitment to a discipline that demands everything physical toughness, mental resilience, technical precision, and above all, the courage to trust yourself when the margin for error disappears. Winning Olympic gold in downhill doesn't just mean you skied the fastest run of the day, it means you mastered fear when it mattered most. Breezy Johnson didn't just win a race. She earned her place in Olympic history by conquering the mountain at the exact moment when nothing else matters.